If you're over 60 and planning to fly anytime soon, stop everything and listen, because what you're about to learn can completely change the way you travel. Welcome back to Above and Beyond with Sophia. I'm Sophia, your familiar American flight attendant, and after 15 unforgettable, sometimes chaotic years in the sky, I realized that simply passing out drinks isn't enough anymore. It's time to start sharing the real insider knowledge that can make your entire flying experience safer, easier, and far more comfortable. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects one of the most polite, patient, and yet consistently underserved groups of travelers: passengers over 60. The title says it clearly: passengers over 60 must know this before flying, and nobody warns you. And let me tell you right now, this is not clickbait. Now, you might be thinking, as Sophia, I've been flying since before you even stepped onto your first aircraft. I know how to buckle a seatbelt, I know how to sit quietly, and I know how to behave on a plane. What could you possibly tell me that would change anything about my routine? And honestly, you're not wrong. You are seasoned travelers. But here's what most people don't realize. The air travel system, those massive sprawling airports and those cramped high-altitude cabins, is subtly shaped in ways that don't always support your comfort or safety. In fact, it can work against you without you even realizing it. Just saying. What if I told you that airlines have policies and services designed specifically to make your travel safer, smoother, and more dignified, but almost none of these are ever advertised? What if I told you that many of these services are federally required, yet passengers rarely use them simply because they don't know they exist? You see, many senior travelers are among the most courteous passengers we ever meet. They don't want to inconvenience the crew. They don't want to appear needy. They board quietly, take their seats, and endure every little discomfort: the dry throat, the stiff back, the long walk to the restroom, thinking this is just normal. But by being too polite, you're unknowingly giving up opportunities that would make your journey easier and far less stressful. You are moving through one of the most exhausting modern systems with one hand tied behind your back. And the truth is, the people who should be telling you these things, the booking website, the gate agent, the automated kiosk, almost never mention them. Yet, these details matter. They affect your body, your comfort, your mobility, and even your safety. So today, I'm breaking down 15 critical things every passenger over 60 should know before flying. We're going to cover 3 major areas: how to physically prepare for air travel, how to navigate the airport without unnecessary stress, and the in-flight secrets that can significantly improve your comfort and dignity. None of this is theoretical. This is real-world knowledge from someone who has spent countless hours assisting passengers just like you, whether that means handing you an extra blanket, helping you stow your bag, or guiding you safely to your seat. I promise that after watching this video, you will approach flying with a completely new mindset, not with anxiety, but with strategy. And if you want more insider tips, please hit that subscribe button. It helps this channel reach more travelers who genuinely need this information. Also, tell me in the comments, what is the single hardest part of flying for you right now? Your responses guide what I create next. Ready to fly smarter, not harder. Let's begin with the first category. Essential physical and wellness preparation, because your body reacts very differently to that high altitude, low humidity cabin air, and getting ready starts long before you even pack your suitcase. Your body truly does respond differently once you're inside that high altitude, low humidity cabin, and preparing for those conditions begins long before you zip up your suitcase. First, let's talk about dehydration, the hidden danger most passengers underestimate. The air inside an aircraft is drier than most deserts, sometimes as low as 10 to 20% humidity. For older passengers, this extreme dryness accelerates dehydration, thickens the blood, and increases the risk of deep vein thrombosis, also known as DVTs. So here's the secret. Your water intake must be intentional and nearly double what you usually drink. Airlines are required to give you water whenever you ask, even when the drink cart isn't in service. Don't wait for us to reach your row to press that call button every 60 to 90 minutes and request water. Even better, bring an empty reusable bottle through security and let us fill it once we're in the air. That isn't being demanding. It's a safety measure. Next, compression socks. Many people think they're only for long-haul flights or those with circulation issues, but that's not true. Cabin pressure and hours of sitting increase the chance of swelling in the legs for everyone, and especially for older adults. The solution is simple: wear proper graduated compression socks. A 15-20 Ms. Ideal rating is ideal. I personally wear them on every flight I work, and I'm a healthy 30-something. Put them on before you leave for the airport, and keep them on until you've landed. This is one of the easiest, cheapest ways to reduce swelling and significantly lower the risk of DVTs. Now let's discuss medication, a topic where I've witnessed far too many preventable disasters. I cannot tell you how many passengers have arrived without their essential medication because their checked bag was delayed or lost. This is one mistake you never want to make. The rule is simple: never check vital medication. Always keep it in your carry-on. That cannot confiscate medically necessary liquids, even if they exceed the usual 311 limits. On top of that, keep a written list of your medications and dosages in your wallet. If something unexpected happens and you cannot speak clearly, that list speaks for you and can save valuable time. Another challenge many passengers over 60 face is restroom access. If you know you'll need to get up frequently, and honestly, you should, for circulation, be strategic about your seat choice. Do not let anyone talk you into a window or middle seat if you know you'll need the aisle. When booking, always prioritize an aisle seat near the restroom or galley. And if you're already stuck in a middle seat, go to the gate agent before boarding and explain that you have a medical need to stand periodically. In most cases, they will move you to an aisle seat for free. It's much easier for them to assist you on the ground than to manage a problem mid-flight. Finally, let's break down what a mid-flight movement should look like. Simply saying a get up and move is vague, so here's the actual protocol. Once the seatbelt sign turns off, stand every hour. Do 10 heel raises and 10 ankle circles in each direction. If you feel steady, walk to the rear galley. Don't just stand awkwardly. Ask a flight attendant if you can hold on to the counter while doing gentle stretches. We are happy to supervise and make sure you're safe. These small movements combat the effects of cabin pressure and help maintain flexibility and circulation throughout the flight. These simple movements truly make a difference. And once you master the physical preparation, the next challenge is something most passengers over 60 find even more stressful: navigating the airport itself. Airports can be overwhelming for anyone: the noise, the crowds, the long walks, the constant announcements. But for older travelers, these environments can become exhausting faster than you might expect. That's why the next set of tips focuses on airport navigation hacks designed to save your energy, your time, and your comfort. Powerful and yet most underused tool available to you is free wheelchair and escort assistance. And here's the part almost no one realizes: you do not need to be disabled to request it. If long walks wear you out, if standing in lines is painful, or if maneuvering through huge airports like Atlanta, Chicago, or Dallas feels overwhelming, you are fully entitled to this service. When you request a wheelchair, you're not just getting a chair, you're getting an airport escort who knows every shortcut, every private elevator, and every alternate route. They move you through dedicated security lines and ensure you board early. It's essentially a VIP pass through the entire airport, and yet many seniors feel it too polite to ask. Don't. This service is federally mandated and completely free. Just remember to request it when booking your ticket or call the airline at least 48 hours in advance. Next is ESA Cares, one of the most helpful but least advertised programs available to senior travelers. Security checkpoints are stressful, complex scanners, fast-moving lines, and agents who don't always explain things clearly. DSA Cares changes that. If you contact them 72 hours before your flight, they will arrange for a passenger support specialist to meet you at the checkpoint. This specialist stays with you, answers questions, explains the process step by step, and ensures you're treated with patience and respect. It's like having a personal guide through the most intimidating part of the airport, and it costs nothing. Another powerful airport advantage you may not be using is priority boarding. In the end, many seniors believe pre-boarding is only for families with infants or passengers with obvious disabilities, but that's not the case. If you have mobility concerns, even mild ones like difficulty lifting your bag out or walking down the narrow aisle, you can request pre-boarding from the gate agent. This gives you calm, unhurried time to stow your carry-on, settle into your seat, and make sure any mobility aids are stored properly. Starting your flight without rushing sets the tone for the entire journey. Sets the tone. Now let's discuss what happens during connections, because this is where stress skyrockets for many older passengers. If you have booked wheelchair assistance for your first flight, you are also entitled to gate transfer assistance. That means once you land, the attendant must take you not just off the aircraft, but all the way to your next gate. And if your first flight is delayed and time becomes tight, these attendants often take quicker routes, use elevators unavailable to the public, or bypass congested walkways. You won't be left stranded or forced to run through the terminal. This must be arranged ahead of time, but it eliminates one of the leading causes of travel panic, missing a connection. Finally, let's talk about mobility aids, crutches, foldable walkers, and foldable walker. Many passengers don't realize that these items do not count toward your carry-on limit. They are considered assistive devices, which means they travel free. You can also ask the flight attendant to store them in the forward closet near first class, where they're accessible and secure. Some passengers hesitate to ask, but this is your right, and it prevents the awkward situation of struggling to retrieve your cane from an overhead bin after landing. This small but important detail prevents those uncomfortable moments when you're stuck waiting for other passengers to clear the aisle while you try to reach your mobility aid. And trust me, it's far easier for both you and the crew when your cane or walker is stored where you can access it without struggling. I once had a sweet passenger, Mr. Henderson, who tried to stand after landing, but couldn't reach his cane because it had been shoved deep inside a crowded overhead bin several rows behind him. He was too polite to call me, but as soon as I saw the problem, I retrieved his cane and placed it up front for future flights. That moment perfectly captured how many seniors travel quietly enduring discomfort they never needed to face. So please ask us. These policies exist to support you. Now that we've covered airport advantages, it's time to move into the in-flight comfort and dignity secrets. This is where flight attendants become your primary allies. Once that cabin door closes, we are the people responsible for your comfort, your safety, and your well-being. So don't hesitate to ask for what you need. The first thing you should know is that we are absolutely allowed to help you with your carry-on luggage. Official policy says passengers should lift their own bags, but in reality, if you're over 60 and you politely request assistance, we are more than willing to help. The key is asking before you strain yourself. Instead of trying to muscle your bag overhead and risking an injury, simply turn to us and say, "Excuse me, could you help me place this in the bin?" A simple, polite request can prevent back strain, shoulder pain, or even a fall. Another in-flight secret that many seniors overlook is the availability of comfort items. On long international flights, amenity kits are standard, but even on domestic flights over 3 hours, we often carry extra blankets, small pillows, and sometimes spare eye shades or earplugs. These items are usually meant for premium cabins or special situations, but if you're a senior and clearly uncomfortable, you are absolutely welcome to ask for them. We may not have enough for every passenger, but we almost always prioritize those who need them most. And everything is sealed in plastic, so you know it's clean and safe to use. The next insider tip is about medical seating exceptions, a policy that can dramatically affect your comfort. If you're seated far from the restroom and realize that walking back and forth will be difficult, you can ask a flight attendant whether there's an available seat closer to the lavatory. If there are unused seats with extra legroom or ones located near the front or rear of the cabin, we often allow older passengers with mild medical needs to move at no cost. This is especially true after boarding is complete and the door is closed. Flight attendants do this not only to help you, but also to prevent potential issues later in the flight. If you didn't pay for that seat, it still doesn't matter. If it's open and you have a genuine need, we'll try to get you into it. Another overlooked in-flight resource is help with seat mechanisms. Many older aircraft have stiff recline buttons, jammed tray tables, or stubborn armrest latches. These things can be surprisingly tough on wrists and fingers. Instead of wrestling with a seat component that refuses to budge, press the call button and ask for assistance. We know exactly where every latch is and how each seat design works. What might take you several frustrating minutes takes us only seconds. This isn't a burden, it's accessibility, and it ensures you stay comfortable without straining yourself. And finally, one of the most important in-flight benefits for passengers over 60 is deplaning assistance. Just as you're allowed to board early, you're also allowed to take your time when leaving the aircraft. If you need a few extra moments to stand, gather your belongings, or simply feel steady on your feet, let a flight attendant know before landing. We will hold the main flow of passengers until you're ready and assist you in a calm, unhurried environment. There's no need to rush or feel pressured by the crowd behind you. If you've arranged wheelchair assistance, remember hack number 6. Your attendant will be waiting right at the aircraft door after landing. This isn't optional for the airline. It's a mandated service. They must escort you from the aircraft all the way to baggage claim and then to your transportation or pickup point. Many passengers don't realize this includes help retrieving checked luggage as well. It's a complete door-to-door service designed to eliminate the last layer of stress from your journey. Whether you're navigating a busy airport or simply feeling tired after a long flight, this support ensures you end your trip safely and comfortably. All of these in-flight and post-flight services aren't about being demanding, they're about being informed. Airlines and crew members are capable of providing far more help than most passengers ever request. When you understand your options and know how to ask clearly and politely, your entire travel experience becomes smoother and far more dignified. Senior travelers deserve comfort, clarity, and respect, and every one of these tips is designed to help you claim exactly that. And with that, you now have 15 essential pieces of information that every passenger over 60 should know before stepping onto their next flight. None of these tips are about asking for special treatment. They're about understanding the rights, services, and simple strategies that the travel system already makes available to you. When you use them, you fly safer, calmer, and far more comfortably. The key to making all of this work smoothly is simple. Be polite, be specific, and ask early. These 3 habits open the door to nearly every accommodation you've heard in this video. If you've spent years flying without knowing these advantages existed, you're certainly not alone. Most travelers never hear about these policies, and many seniors assume that discomfort is just part of the journey. But now that you know better, you can approach every flight with confidence and a plan. And if you have a friend, parent, or grandparent who travels often, and especially someone who struggles with the physical demands of flying, share this information with them. A few small changes can completely transform their experience. Hey! Thank you so much for flying with me today and for taking the time to learn how to travel smarter, not harder. If you found these insights useful, don't forget to subscribe for more behind-the-scenes tips and practical guidance straight from the galley. Your support helps this community grow and ensures more passengers get access to knowledge that truly matters. Until next time, travel well, stay prepared, and I'll see you at cruising altitude.